been on a trip to the Auschwitz concentration camp, and I've always been impressed with this young man speaking, so I'd now like to invite Ryan Rowe to the stage, please, to deliver a perspective on volunteering.
Alright, thanks for coming along. I'm basically here just to talk about the benefits of what the Saltire Awards have given me. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do what David can do. I can't even put the alphabet, never mind play the xylophones like that. So you'll just have to stare at my ugly face for the next 10 minutes. I'll start first of all by talking about, what I've did within the school. Myself, Kieran Graham and Katie Kerr, we've been taking part in partnerships with Galston Primary down there. Their eco committee, admittingly by themselves, was struggling, so Mrs Bowman, I'll not say dragged, I'll say asked myself, Kieran and Katie to volunteer to help them out, and it's been an absolutely fantastic endeavour. So far, with our help, we've given them ideas, things like stuff that we've implemented here. Things like the switch off fortnight to save energy, and the Bin It to Win It campaign, where pupils are given rewards for picking up litter. And down there in the primary, that sort of stuff really resonated with them. And the primary, they've seen a real improvement, because admittedly by themselves they were really falling behind in getting their green flag. So now they're looking to implement their own greenhouse, which one of the pupils' dads has kindly donated to the school, and working in partnership with them has been great for our experiences, working with kids and working with the teachers to find solutions to all these problems in the school, as well as the school's benefit and for the community's benefit, because let's face it, everyone in that community is going to use the school at one point, either for meetings or for the people to go there themselves, so they've benefited from it a lot. Another thing that I've done in the school, and myself and David and the rest of the captains were heavily involved in volunteer-wise, was Children in Need. Children in Need is the weed in the school when Mrs McLean becomes an army drill coordinator, if you like. She was a bit mad that week, but it's one of the most rewarding things people can take part in, and for the 5th year sitting there, if you do become part of the captain's team, I really urge you to be involved with it. Myself and David were involved in setting up, the photographer from Marlett Standard was there as well, the 5k run for Pudsey. It's the first time the school had ever undertaken such a journey, if you like, to find a better word. And I think we raised in total, it was around £1,000 just from that alone. Over 250 pupils and parents all together volunteered, and they took part in the 5k run along Loughton Academy. Really rewarding experience, and Brownings as well, would like to thank them for providing some sausage rolls for us at the end as just rewards. I'll now go on to the crux of my matter. My very own partner, if you like, and this has been Youth Football Scotland. Some of you might have heard about us if you're involved with the circuit. But basically, Youth Football Scotland was set up 3 years ago as a non-for-profit organisation aimed at giving youth clubs in Scotland the sort of exposure that professional clubs are able to benefit from. It started very humbly in a wee dingy office in Edinburgh. They've now managed to gain an office as part of the Sports Scotland agency, and we now have over 12,000 likes on Facebook and 7,000 followers on Twitter. So we have an audience, an official audience if you like, of 20,000 people, and that includes youngsters as well as parents and coaches and volunteers. Now, I started with Youth Football Scotland about February last year. The football team that I was playing for at the time, Belfield, we went up to Edinburgh to play a team in the Scottish Cup, and we were thrilled to see that there was a photographer there from Youth Football Scotland, and getting involved with them from then on, it really spurred me on, and it's given me direction in my life. As in the last year, it's really spurred me, it's directed me towards journalism, where perhaps beforehand I was wavering about where I would want to go. In February, they asked me to start doing match reports for Belfield, and then in March they asked me to come on as a sort of full-time volunteer, if you like. Now this involves, for Belfield, what we would do was take part in the game myself, go home, write it up in Microsoft Word and email it to them, and then eventually when I became a full-time member, they gave us login details, now fully accessible to that site. The site itself is an absolutely marvellous thing. I urge you to all get on it if you've got boys or girls as well involved in football, youthfootballscotland.co.uk. There's match reports, there's blogs, and now there's radio, television. We've got all these things going on, photographs, what have you. The amount of things that I've seen and done and have been benefited by Football Scotland in these volunteering hours through the Saltire Awards is so far-reaching that it's hard to describe it. I've been to so many places in the central Scotland, like Vale of Leven. I've been up to Perth, Airdrie for Scottish Cup finals. My dad's run me about like a taxi driver the past couple of years, so I've had no end of moaning for the amount of times that I've had to use his car. And in summer we were down in places like Dumfries to cover youth football festivals down at Hester Rovers, and it's what we really aim to do. The crux of our aim is to give youth football the exposure that professional clubs are getting, and we believe that it gives them an impetus to be successful by giving them this exposure, and it spurs them on to do better in their careers. And I was personally able to experience that as my team last year, with this extra coverage, was able to win 4 trophies, the League, the Scottish Cup and 2 League Cups. So this kind of coverage that what Youth Football Scotland was able to give us was so beneficial to not only the players and the parents that have got now that they've got a season to remember and games to remember about their experiences watching their boys playing in it. They've also been allowed to have success. In September this year, Bonnet and Thistle asked me to come on board as their official journalist, and since then it's only got more beneficial for me. Ian Higgins, after I got asked to do a match report on one of their games, asked me to come along to be their club journalist. Brian McNally of Youth Football Scotland, in partnership with the Saltire Awards, had enrolled the club journalism scheme, and I was one of the first to become a part of that. And since then, Brian has used me as a benchmark, if you like, to what everyone else that's part of this scheme should be looking to do. Since then, I've set up a Bonnet on Twitter, a Bonnet on Facebook. As well as that, we're rejuvenating the website. We're currently in the process of doing a new website, and as Provost Forrest there remember, there was a civic reception for the under-19s just a couple of weeks ago for their endeavours, and Ian Higgins is now, through his work, we've been able to enter into a consultation partnership with the Clun Group regarding the Diageo site in Kilmarnock, the old Johnny Walker bottling plant. We are going to be one of the main consultees in the next 6 to 9 months and over the years with the new purchase of this site, which is going to bring amazing facilities to Kilmarnock. There's only so much I can tell you, but you can look up in our press release as well as Marie Macklin, the Clun Group's press release. Basically, their motto is Kilmarnock is bouncing back. This is going to bring people back to Kilmarnock, and this is going to make Kilmarnock a focal point, not just in the west of Scotland, but in Scotland again. And through the work I've been doing with the Saltire Awards, it's allowed me to become involved with this partnership and sit in these meetings so that the youth generations coming in and the adults that will also be able to use it for part-time employment, full-time employment in this facility to allow for Kilmarnock to bring in money through tourism and its economy. Recently, at YFS, a lot of the stuff we've been doing is to do with radio and television. We're really branching out to give people more experience and more wide-ranging activities to do within the organisation, and they're moving from being a grant-funded organisation to an advertised funding organisation. And a couple of weeks ago we were at the Scotland-England schoolboys game to give those lads coverage of their match in the Scottish Schools Shield. England won 3-1. It was a fantastic game, and a lot of England players got their parents to listen on to our radio, as what we do is a lot of commentary and match analysis and things like that. And myself, we also started YFS TV a couple of months ago, and myself, along with Fiona Gray and Greg Adoy, have been the presenters of that. So it's all, and what we cover in that television programme, it's on YouTube, is that we give youth clubs around the country the exposure through YouTube and that media element coverage that is exposing what they've been doing. Things like community partnerships, new stadiums and interesting results to try and give them that extra exposure which then benefits them. What else? Well, there's so much more I could tell you, but I'm probably boring you already. But basically, the benefits that Youth Football Scotland, the stuff I've been doing in the school, the Saltire Awards as a whole, have gave me, I've been able to increase my social skills and my skills in writing and radio and presenting myself to allow me to get the course I wanted into uni with all this experience. because I think by Modern mission and by the university's mission, I don't know if anyone else that's applied for that course has had so much experience, and it's been through the Saltire Awards and the amount of stuff I've did in the school and out that's allowed me to do that. Enter into community partnerships with the likes of the Clym Group to give the community benefit for our work and for the benefit of others, and giving them exposure through Youth Football Scotland and the help of children in need and the work down at Ralston Primary. So the Saltire Awards, not only has it helped me, but it's helped everyone else. So all I can say is thanks for listening to my inane dribble. So thanks very much for coming.